Mr. Tunji, if you can hear me, say hello. Mr. Joshua, please, if you can hear me, can you say something? Mr. Joshua, please, if you can hear me, can you say something? Please, if you can hear me, can you say something? I will mute you guys. All right.
I can hear you.
Okay. Let's begin. I want to be sure that Mr. Joshua can hear me. I want to be sure that Mr. Tunji can hear me. There's supposed to be 10 students in this section, but at the moment we just have 6 on their way. So I need to be sure before we proceed. Is Mr. Tunji here? Can he hear me? It's only text Sarge that can hear me. The rest of you cannot hear me.
No, Tony. Must do by someone by this time. Don't trust all low motion. So we're going to tell our age. Don't think able to arrange the
Okay, I think Mr. Tunji is having issues today. Okay, Mr. Joshua, please, can you hear me? Okay, I want to start right away without wasting of our time. But very quickly, I'd love to introduce myself and then the aim of the study and then the scope. So what I really need us to do is that this section is an introductory section. It's going to last for 45 minutes, and then you have 15 minutes for questions. Now, the Zoom protocols for asking questions is to raise up your hand. And how to locate that, you just need to go to your icons and then click on the icons. Then it's going to see where you're going to raise your hand. So once you identify that, we're going to know that you have a question to ask. But before I proceed to start fully, I need to be sure that you all can hear me. So if you can hear me, just raise up your hand. If you can hear me, you don't need to say anything, just raise up your hand. Can everybody do what I just did? Just raise up your hand if you can hear me. Okay, Jeremy raised up his hand. All right. Tunji raised up his hand. All right, thank you very much. So you can break down your hands. Thank you. Break down your hand, lower your hand, lower your hand, lower your hand. I'll do same right here. Okay, Mr. Tech Search, can you please lower your hand so we can proceed? All right, once again, I greet you all from wherever you're watching this video, be it morning, afternoon, evening, from wherever you are. Say good morning to you, good afternoon, and good evening. So just like what you guys saw on the advert, that is a web development training. We're going to be learning HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and then we'll wrap it up with WordPress. Now, my name is I would love to introduce myself. My name is Vision John. You can as well call me Jeremy. I've been an IT guy for the past 10 years right now. I have skills in some programming languages, basically HTML, JavaScript, CSS, hypertext preprocessor, that's PHP, and then I'm a WordPress developer. Then I'll do a bit of Flutter, Node.js, that's for mobile app development. And what we're going to be looking, I'm going to be talking about the scope right away. So I believe most of us are writing the scope of and the aim of the training. The first week, we're going to be looking at an overview of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Now, before you go fully into development, you need to understand the language you are using to develop. For instance, if you want to develop a website, you need to understand the language that you are using to develop that website, which is hypertext, Mark language, that's HTML, and then cascaded style sheet, that's CSS, and then JavaScript. So what we have on the screen is an overview of these things I just mentioned, which we're going to be looking at it immediately. So it's going to be more like a practical class. I'm going to be doing some skills, and then I'm going to be giving you some code. You'll practice it, but not for today. Today, we're just talking on how we can achieve this aim by knowing what you need to learn. Are we all together? Okay. Thank you. So basically, what is HTML? I'm going to explain what HTML is. Like I told us, that HTML is hypertext markup language. Well, what is HTML? HTML stands for hypertext markup language. HTML is a markup language. A language is a set of markup tags. Now, let me explain what this simply means. In programming, you need to understand variables. And HTML happens to be one of the languages they use in programming. Programming in the sense that you can achieve this aim by, maybe you want to create a tag, a web page, a web flow, or even mobile apps. So you need to write a script. And now for you to begin writing a script, you need a language to write that script. So what HTML does is that HTML gives you the foundation, the avenue to write that script. That's basically what HTML does. So when you want to write a script, you use the markup language to write that script. Now, whatever variable you input is what you're going to be getting. So that's why I said you can also see that HTML document contain tags and plain text. Now, when organizing the web pages, you must insert tags and plain text. Now, plain text could be for heading, plain text could be from menu bar, plain text could be for paragraph in a web page. HTML documents are also called web pages. For any HTML document you see can be seen as web pages. Maybe some of us are familiar with most of the website we can see. Some website could be developed by a markup language, that's HTML. Some website could be developed by CMS, that's WordPress. CMS simply means content management system. So while we're looking at HTML, HTML enables us, it gives us the availability or the opportunity to write scripts. about the website that we want to develop or the web page we're about to develop. Now, have this in mind. Now, when writing this script, what HTML helps you do is that it gives you the overflow. It shows you what you are writing. It helps you. It builds you up. Now, for instance, you want to insert a tag. Whatever tag you are inserting, HTML brings up that tag to a better place. That's what HTML does. I'm going to be giving us an example of an HTML tag. Now, for what you see now, you can see the tag name and then content and then tag name. Now, the tag name, it's what makes the content in the index takes place. Please, can you mute yourself? Please, can you all hear me? So let's look at HTML tags. Let's look at HTML tags. Now, HTML tags are keywords. And maybe you can also say that the tags also are in pair. We have a start tag and then we have an end tag. Now, when you are writing a script, you must begin with a tag. It has an opening tag and a closing tag. Now, if you start each tag without closing that tag, you are not going to get the result you want. For each tag you are writing, there's going to be an open tag and there must be a closing tag. The first thing you need to understand about HTML is tagging. Understanding what you are tagging. If I want to write a script, I start by, let's say for instance, I open a tag, I say HTML doc tag, and I must close it back with that same tag that I opened it with. Just like you see now, there's a tag that is open as an example, tag name. And if you notice that it has been closed with another tag name, maybe I'll show you what I mean by using an editor. We're going to go into full-time development, but I just need you to understand what we're using to develop. So you need to have an idea of what you're going to be using to develop this website or build up web pages. So for the example you see here is a tag name. There's an opening tag and there's a close tag. If you see, the opening tag does not have a parenthesis ahead of it, besides the content. But the closing tags have, or you can call it slash. Can we all see the example given on the view? You notice the opening tag does not have a slash, while the closing tag has a slash. If you can hear me, kindly respond. I need you to respond. It's a question I'm asking, so that shows that you're following up. Okay, we have somebody who raised up his hand. Okay, let me hear you, Mr. TechShark. TechShark, you raise up your hand. Do you have a question? So we can hear you, TechShark. Go on, please say something. You raise up your hand. We can hear you, TechShark. Please ask your question if you have any question to ask. Okay,
I don't have questions. I just raised my hand to see whether I'm following you. Okay, that means I just raised my hand to tell you I'm following you, that I can understand.
Okay, you understand. Okay, please. The only reason you should raise up your hand is when you have a question. That hands up means like you want to ask a question or you want to verify something. So if you don't have anything to say, you don't need to raise up your hand. And the rest of us, please take note. If I see your hand up, that means you want to ask me a question. All right, just like what I'm saying now, like we have an opening tag and a close tag. Now the opening tag is different from the close tag. For each tag you open in HTML, you must close the tag. Now, if you don't close the tag, you're not going to get the result you want. It's going to give you a wrong input. For instance, from the example you see, there's an opening tag with a tag name. The closing tag has a slash before the tag name. That shows that it closes. Now, if you input that tag without closing it appropriately, you're not going to get the right result you want. You are not going to get that result. It's going to give you an error. That's why you need to close each tag you open. That's the basic of HTML. Now, what CSS does is that CSS beautify your work or your web page. CSS is the designing aspect of HTML. We're going to be looking at that, but let's understand what tagging means. But before I go on and proceed, I don't know if any of you have any question. You want to ask a question, you don't understand anything. Before I proceed, is there anybody like that? You want to ask a question? Is there anybody like that? You want to ask a question, you don't understand what tag is? I'm open, I can answer you. Okay, let's proceed. Now, another example of HTML is that if you notice on my screen, you see that there's an open tag with HTML, and then there's a closing tag with HTML. Did you notice the slash at the opening end? Maybe I need to show us how this thing looks like so that you know the mistake. So let me open up a screen and try this tag myself and see how it's going to look like. Please hold on. I'm trying like let me write that script for you guys so you understand what I'm saying. But do you all understand the opening and closing tag? Mr. TechShark, do you understand the opening and closing tag? Mr. Tunji, do you understand the opening and closing tag?
No, sir. Not really, sir.
Okay, you don't understand. Mr. Tunji, talk to me. Okay, so what did I
along the way?
I can hear you. What did you say you don't understand?
You say the HTML tags are keywords enclosed within angle brackets. Like if you don't close the tag, you won't be able to write shape. So I don't really understand that. Can you help me take over again?
Please, can you be a bit audible? I didn't get that question. Or can you type? If you can type it, it's gonna be better. Well, I didn't get your question. Or can you be a bit audible? Okay, while we wait for Mr. Tunji, Mr. Joshua, please, are you with us? Okay, TechShark is gone. All right, I want to share another screen. And then I want to explain that open tag and close tag. But Mr. Tunji, please, if you have a question, just ask it right, so that I'll use that to explain. Mr. Tunji, we're waiting for you.
Okay.
Okay, I want to explain the opening tag and closing tag. I don't know if you all can see my screen. So I'm going to create a new file.
Yes, sir. Okay.
I want to explain the closing tag for you. So I want to open up a tag. For instance, I wrote HTML. And now I'm going to close it. There must be a closing tag. Or let me just save this file and so you could see from a browser. Okay. So Mr. Tunji, can you see my screen? Can you all see my screen?
Yes, sir. I can.
Okay,
Yes,
you
sir.
said HTML tags are keyword and closing bracket that without closing it, you won't be able to write a script. So I was asking if you could precisely explain data. Okay, that's your question, Mr. Tunji.
Yes, sir.
Yet, without closing the tags, that's what I'm going to give as an example right now. If you open a tag, you need to close the tag, because if you don't close that tag, you're not going to get the exact result you want. Let me add another screen to this sharing from what I'm saying. Let me give you an example. I just opened an HTML tag, and let me write up another script. Let me just start with a heading tag. Let me put H1. I just opened a tag and I wrote something. I'm a boy. I'm a boy. Now, if I don't close this tag, this I'm a boy is not going to reflect on your web browser. But however, we're going to open this thing to check. Let me close this tag and then save my work. And let me open it and see. Let me view what I've done. Oh. Okay, let me share you what I just wrote. Please, can you see my screen?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm a boy. What I wrote, there's a mistake in that thing. Can you see the mistake there? Did anyone observe there's a mistake? We have less than greater than. There's a greater than arrow underneath I'm a boy. Please, can you all see that? It's wrong. It's not supposed to be there.
Okay.
So let me go back to the code. Let me go back to the code. Did you see? Let me highlight. Can you see here? The arrow is there. Have you seen the arrow? Let me remove it and then save it and go back to it. And let's see how it's going to look like. Let me refresh and see. Now, the arrow is no longer there. Please, can you see it all?
Yes, sir.
I'm trying to explain the open tag and close tag. Now, without the closing tag, I'm a boy is not going to reflect. The context is not going to show. So if you're opening a tag in HTML, you must close that tag.
Okay.
Let me give another example. Let me write another tag. Let me give it a paragraph and say this training is going to be great.
Hey, down. Hey, down.
And then if I don't close this tag, it's not going to reflect. Let me save what I've done. Let me see. Remember, I've not closed the tag, but I've saved my work. Let me share it and see if it's going to reflect. Did you see the error?
Yes, sir.
Can you see an error in that place? This training is going to be great, but there's an error there. I don't know if you all can see. There's an error. It comes with a greater than and a less than. Now, why you are seeing this error is because I did not close the tag. That's why you are seeing that error. Okay, let me close that tag and you won't see that error again. Let me go back to the code editor. Let me come over here to the code editor. All right, so let me close what the tag are open and then let me close it. I've closed the tag. I've saved my work. Let me go back to the browser and let's check if that error is going to be there. I'm going to refresh my browser. There's still an error. You can see another arrow down, right?
Yes, sir.
That's because I did not remove one of the arrows. Let me remove it and save my work and go back to it again and refresh. So let's check it out here. Now, there's no arrow anymore. You can't see any greater than or less than symbol on the screen.
Yes, sir.
So what I simply explaining is an open tag and a closed tag in HTML. So you need to understand the tag for whatever you are inputting. For each tag you're opening in HTML, you must close that tag.
Okay.
Please, are the rest of us following? I don't know, do any of us have any question before I move on?
Yes.
Okay, please, can you raise up your hand and ask question? If you want to ask a question, just raise up your hand. Sorry, please, who said yes? I'm waiting for you before I move on. Please, do any of us have questions before I move on? I'm still explaining the tax. Mr. Endurance, please, do you have any question? You're just coming in, sir.
Yeah, so I tried to come in before. I don't know why you didn't admit me. So the thing failed and I had to try again before you was not admitted. Is this the first page? How much have I missed?
No, we're just doing introduction, understanding what we're going to be using to develop web pages and websites.
Okay.
Well, so we're talking about HTML and how it works.
Okay. What is the difference between header and paragraph?
What is the difference between header and paragraph? A good question. The difference between header and paragraph is that header is title, while paragraph is normal text, it's a plain text.
I know the market.
No, please, Mr.
I don't
What is making noise? And I really don't like that. I don't know who's that person. So I need to move. Okay, let me explain the difference between header and paragraph. H1 means title. The header is title. For instance, you want to title up a stuff, and now before you write anything, you must give it a title. That's the meaning of the header. Why the paragraph is a plain text? Let me show you from what I just did. You see that there is a different thing entirely. I'm a boy is bolder than this training is going to be great. Please, sir, can you see the screen?
Yes, I can see the screen.
Okay, so the header there means I'm a boy. It is bolder than the paragraph. Please, do you take note of that? Please talk back to me, sir. I need to know if you understand what I'm saying. Mr. Endurance, please, can you hear me? Well, I might have to move on. Maybe I'll revisit that question again. So let's just move on. I'm not sure you can hear me. Okay.
I can hear you. I hear you, Vision.
Okay, thank you. So I'm trying to explain the difference between the head tag and the paragraph. And I said, I'm a boy is bolder than the training is going to be great. Please, did you see that?
Yes, I saw that.
Okay, now the heading tags are for titles. Now we have H1, H2, H3, H4, H5. They all have different sizes. For instance, let me give you an instance. Let me just show you from here. I'm in the code editor right now, and this heading I'm using here is H1. If I put H2, the size is going to be different. Let me say H2. Let me give it a H2 tag. That's header, another H2, and then let me write something. And let me save it. And let me go back to the browser and open it. Let me see what it's going to show. Now, but before I do that, I need you to take note. Look at the size of H1. I'm a boy. Now let me refresh it to, did you see the difference? Please, sir, can you see the screen?
I can see the screen is bigger.
It's bigger. It's bigger. Now, if I put H3, it's going to be different. Let me try H3 too.
So when can we get this coding software to be doing practical too, so that we can have hands-on on what we are learning?
That will be from tomorrow. From next week. Today is Wednesday, Friday. From next week, because you need to understand how it works before you start practicing it yourself. why is this guy interrupting my life? Is they call me when I did do call? Now you don't interrupt my call, and I send them link since. No, me now. You couldn't call my main line. We be saying I had to use for data.
Why you home like that? Whether you're making call, that's a day.
Nah, you don't call stuff from. I don't send them. Okay, I'm sorry for the breakdown. I think there's a bit a little downtime from my end. I'm sorry about that. Okay, so let's proceed. Please, Mr. Endiolas, you were asking a question, sir.
Yes, I was asking when we're going to have access to software to start doing the practical. Because I think practicalizing what we are doing will help us to grasp the concept faster.
Okay, we'll wait for tomorrow. I'll tell you the name of software you need to download. But I needed us to understand the flow first before you start inputting anything. If you don't understand the language you're using, there's no how you can write the tags.
Yeah, that's true. It's okay. I'm just asking anyway. It's okay. When you are ready, you let us know.
Okay, but are you satisfied with the opening and closing tag?
Yes, but I don't know how to open and close tags because I just met when you were explaining.
Okay, I will teach us how to do that from tomorrow. So maybe first and foremost, like I said, during the introductory class, I said we're going to be looking at the overview, and then we'll start we'll develop a web page. From there, we enter a full functional website, and we'll develop 3 categories of website. We're going to be developing a corporate website, a social networking website, and a business website. So these are the 3 things we're going to be using. These are the 3 projects we're going to be doing on or before the end of the training. Okay, Tunji raised up his hand. Okay, Mr. Tunji, you have a question, please. You can ask your question.
Okay, in between the HTML and the data or lesser down sign, there's one slanting symbol there. Can you explain what it's for?
Please, I can barely hear you. Can you type your question because you're not a bit audible like Mr. Endurance and the rest. I can barely hear you, honestly.
Okay, sir.
Please just type your question. Okay, please, before I proceed, do any of us have a question? Mr. Elijah, Mr. There are a lot of Mr. Zero. I'm trying to like.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, sorry guys, I just came in and I think we'll need a summary of today's presentation, please. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. So we get that across to you. But notwithstanding, there's gonna be videos for each lesson, so you watch it from the website. So whatever we're doing, we're going to be uploading on the website. In case you don't understand anything, you can visit the website and find out what we discuss about. So Mr. Edegbe, do you have any question before I proceed? Mr. Edegbe, please, can you hear me? All right, since everybody understand so far, so I want to explain. From please, can you all see the screen, the HTML example on the screen? Please, can you all see the HTML example on the screen? I need to be sure you guys are following up. Okay, there's a question here. It said in between the HTML and the tag and the lesser than symbol, there's a Latin symbol like this. What is that symbol slash used for, and what is the meaning of the P in this? All right, let me show you. Okay, this is your question. Now, the slash is the closing tag, is the paraphrase that you use to close the tag of whatever you are opening. Please, can you hear me, Mr. Tunji?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So when each tag you open, the slash there is a symbol for you to close it. If you don't put that slash, it's not going to work. The P stands for paragraph. The H is heading. The full meaning of the H there is heading. Heading 1, heading 2, heading 3. The P is paragraph. Paragraph. That's what the full meaning of the P there is paragraph. You can use it maybe when writing or you are trying to input a text. That's when you use the paragraph. Now we're going to be looking at so many symbols in HTML and understanding them. But right now we're talking about tags. That's why I'm much depending on the tag. So for each tag you open, you must close it with a slash. To CSS is different. JavaScript too is different. They all have different closing terms. But HTML, this is the closing tags for HTML. Okay, thank you. So let me proceed.
Thank you, sir.
All right, you're welcome. Now, from my screen, we have the opening tag, which is HTML. We have the body. Now, the body tag is where your main content is. You can see the heading 1 said my first heading. The paragraph said my first paragraph. That is inside the body of the web page. You must open a body tag and close the body tag for these variables to be seen. If you don't open the body tag and close the tag, you won't see those variables. I'm talking about a full functional web development.
Now,
and I said to simple explain this, the text between the HTML and the close tag describe the web page. The text between the body is the visible page content. Why the H, like I said, displays the heading, and the P there is paragraph. I've explained that already. Okay, please, how many of us are using a laptop to watch this training? If you are using a laptop, please, I would love you to do something.
Website.
Okay, there's somebody that raised up his hand. Mr. Starlo, please. Okay, please, what's your question?
So my question is, let all the participants to mute themselves because their communication is affecting the meeting already.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
Tell the participants, people that are participating in the program, to mute themselves. Some people are making calls, they are talking.
Sorry,
it's affecting the program.
Okay, sorry about that. Before I do that, please, if you have anything to say, you must raise up your hand. Then I can unmute you. So please, let's all mute. If you have anything to say, just raise up your hand. That's the Zoom. So please, if you have anything to say, just raise up your hand and I will attend to you. Mr. Tunji, please, can you mute yourself?
Okay, sir.
All right, thank you. So the HTML editors, please, if you are using a laptop to watch this training, just simply by raising up your hand. I want you to try something. If you are using a laptop to watch this training, can you? Okay, Starlove is there. Mr. Mr. Endurance, please, are you using a system to watch this training? Can you raise up your hand if you are?
I'm not. I'm using a phone.
All right, no problem. That means we can achieve this then. So let me move on. I want to explain the editors that we can use to build web pages. Now we can use like the one I'm using. Okay, Mr. Starlove, let me hear you. Starlove, I thought you want to say something.
I'm using laptop.
Okay, can you go to your web browser and download Visual Studio?
Okay.
Just type Visual Studios.
All right.
Okay, let me proceed. Now, for each script that we are writing, we need to use an editor to write those scripts. That's why I wanted us to download the editor. We have so many editors. We have Notepad++, we have Brackets, we have Atom, we have Notepad itself. So, but the best I can recommend that is very easy for beginners is Universal Studio or Visuals. Please, can you all hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right, thank you. The editor I'm using is called Visual Studios. The editor I'm using currently that you can see on my screen is called Visual Studios. What this helps you to do is that whenever you open a tag or you're trying to write anything, it just completes it for you immediately. But others editors might not do that. Bracket does the same. Atoms does the same, but this is the best. So please, at your free time, download Visual Studios and then Atom. Just type it on your search engine. It's going to pop up. From Friday, we're going to be inserting tags and we're going to be playing with tags to see how it works. So let me move on to HTML tag. Now, like I told us, that HTML headings are defined with the H1 to HC tags, while the paragraphs are defined with P. And then HTML links are defined with A. Please, you need to take note of this. This is very important. This is what we're going to be using to write script. For each tag, for anything you want to define, you must put the tag. A represents a link. For instance, let me share my screen and show you examples. If I want to turn this to a link, let me just start from beginning. Let me give it a tag and say, let me save this and then go back to my browser and open it and see. So I'm going to refresh. Please, can you all see that it has turned to a link? Please, if you can see it, respond to me.
Yes, you can see it.
Yes, sir.
It is not a link. You can see the mouse icon there, right? It's showing like a link.
Yes, sir.
So that's the A. Now, I thought somebody's going to ask me a question because I did not put only A. I wrote something after that A. I don't know if you take note of that. From here, we say the A tag are links. They define the links, right? So what I did here is this href, whatever I'm putting here, if you click it, it's going to redirect you to that link where you want it to go. So I'm not going to put anything here. I'm just going to put hash, and then I'll try to click on it and see if it's going to redirect me to a particular directory. So let me save this and go back to my browser. Let me go back to my browser. Let me refresh. And then let me click on it. Let me see if it's going to open. It did not open. Did you know that it did not open? So let me add something. Let me find a link. Let me just check on a link. Let me look for a link that I'll add there so that you see VTech. Okay, I'm going to copy this link. I've copied a link and I'll add it to the text editor. Now, under this place that I put hash, I'm going to remove that hash and paste that link I copied. Please, can you all see the screen? Please, can you all see my screen?
Yes.
All right, thank you. So once I save this and I go back to the browser, the moment I click on board, it's going to redirect me to this URL I inserted here. So let me try it and see. Let me go back to the browser. Let me come back to here. And let me refresh this. Now let me click on this board. You see that it has taken me to a different place. It's opening the URL that I put. Please, do we all understand? Please, do we all understand?
Yes, we do.
All right, thank you. So that's all about the A tag. That's for link. And there is no how you can insert a link without putting that href. That's href, which you must insert for that link to work perfectly. Now, HTML images are defined with the abbreviation of IMG. And then you close the tag. Now, before you input an image, you must put the source of that image. You must write the source of where that image is for that image to be displayed. Okay, do I need to try this for us to see?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You can do that.
Okay, so I'm going to put an image now, but I need to save it in a directory.
That's good. For dinner this Friday, and I will help you today. I want to reintroduce you. Let's start something from there. What do you think? Sure.
Please, somebody, I don't know who is that. You're in a place where it's so noisy, and can you just mute yourself?
Yes, so.
Please hold on. I'm trying to set up a folder for the image. Let me share my my document screen. So initially, this is a text. This is the index file that I created. I don't know if you all can see it, the index file. Now, but because I just did it rampantly, if I put an image, it's not going to show. So for me to get what I'm doing properly, I need to create a folder. That's where all my files will be saved. So I need to come over here and create a new folder. Because if I put an image here, there are a lot of files in this place. So it's definitely not going to show. It's going to be a bit hectic for me to find the directory to that image. So the easiest way to do is to create a folder and put all your files. That's what I'm going to be doing right now. So I'm going to be creating a folder. And I tag the folder as test. So on that folder, I'll copy this. No, I'll cut it and put it inside here. Now, I want to put an image. I need to create a folder for an image. I need to create a new folder also. There's a simple way to do it. I would have just put the image, but I'm not going to do that. I need you to understand this process first before I tell you the easiest way to do it. So let me go and look for an image and come over. I need a simple image. Okay, let me get this image and go back to this image folder, and then I paste it. But I need to rename it. Now, when you are putting an image, you need to know the file type of that image, whether it's a PNG or JPEG. If you put the wrong file type, it's not going to display. For this image, it's a JPEG. That's JPG. Okay. So I'm going to put an image source now. Let me go back to our code. Before I go back, let me show you something. Remember, the image tag says you need to put the source where you're looking for that image from. That's the only way you can get that image. So let me go back and try it and see if it's going to work. I come over here, I open a tag, and I said IMG, and I put RFC equals to, I put quotation, and I put where it's coming from. I put test, the folder. What's the name of the folder? Image. Okay, see, it's not giving us the right input because we didn't arrange the folder very well. You know why? You guys are not responding. Let me just save this and open a new folder. So I'm going to open a folder now where we save those files. Yeah, we got this folder text. So I've opened this folder. Let's wait for it to open. Sorry about that. Okay, so over here, I need to put the image. And I come here and I said IMG. And I put the RC source equals to two quotation. Look at the image is already there.
Yes.
Let me check. We have text. But that's the JPEG file. If I save this now, go to the browser. I don't know. Let me go back to the browser and check. I don't show anything. Let's see. Okay. I think There's a mistake somewhere. Let me open it from here. Let me open a folder. Let me double click here and see. Please, can you all see the screen?
Yes, sir.
There's a mistake. Can you see the image icon there under that boy? Oh, maybe you guys you're not seeing it. Okay, but can you see it now? There's a symbol of an image, a broken image. I don't know if you can see it. Please, can you all see the screen? There's a symbol of a broken image after the ball. Please, if you can hear me, can you respond?
Yes, sir. Can hear you, sir.
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you.
There's a symbol of an image after the boy. There's a broken
I
image.
can hear you.
Yes, we can see that. We can see it.
Because why it's like that is because I didn't define the
like a corrupt
variables.
file.
It's a broken image. That's because the source is not written well.
Okay.
That's what I want you to take note. This is our last practical before this class is meant to be an hour, but we've exceeded 1 hour. So I will do that. I'll correct that, but I need you to see it.
Okay.
Let me go back to our. Let me go back to our code editor again. So you can, I need you to look at it. So where do you think the error is coming from? From what we've said so far, look at the image source. Or maybe I'll take you back to my example that I said here. Look at this image. HTML images are defined with the IMG abbreviation tag. So you see here, that's to get the right image. Okay, sorry about the break there. So I was saying that look at the definition of the image, and then I'll go back to the code and you tell me where the mistake is from. The HTML images are defined with a tag. So please look at it, and then I'll go back to our code editor, and then you tell me where the mistake is from, where we are mistaking.
The height,
It has width. It has width and height.
The height and the width. The height, that should be the height and the width now.
Okay, we are all trying, we're all getting there. But I think the mistake, let me go back to the code editor. The mistake here is from the source. We've not defined the image. Remember, let me go back again and show you from here. Image is defined. The source gave us a folder name, and there's a .jpg, there's .com. I don't know if you are seeing the screen.
Yes.
So we didn't define that. So we did not, like I told us that for any image you want to insert, you must put the file type. I did not put the file type of that image. That's why you can't see it there.
Okay.
Remember, on my image source, there's no file type. The only thing you can see here is text.html. I didn't define the file type.
Okay.
So what I would have done is to put the folder where that image is. The name of the folder is called image.
Okay.
And then I put slash, and I put text.jpg, and then I save it. Let me go back and see if it's going to give me what I just did now. So can you see the image?
Yes, sir.
Please, can you all see the image?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we might have to stop here today. Now, this is a raw format of web pages. By the time we start designing, we can arrange the height. That's where you now talk about the height, the width. But for now, it's just a raw web page.
No, now.
Okay, you have a question. You have something to say?
Where is the
Please, if you have a question, can you just raise up your hand? Let me attend to question before we round up. Please, do any of us have a question so I can attend to the question before we round up?
Okay, sir, please can you go back to the HTML tag page?
Please, I didn't get that.
Maybe the HTML tag screen page.
Like I should go back to the HTML tag page.
Yes, yes.
Okay, please, are you referring to this page?
no,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so you have a question here.
No, I just want to see the tag driver.
Okay, you want to see the tag, how it's being written.
Yes, sir.
So on our next class, we're going to be talking about how to use the B, the I symbol, bold, and italic. Let me just try it now for you guys to see. Under that image, I'm going to write something. So let me write a paragraph. Let me give it a paragraph. So I want to test run what the B is. So please, can you all see my screen?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so let me save this. Let me go back to the web browser and see if it has changed. So let me refresh my browser. By the time I come down, you see where I wrote, I am test running. Please, can you all see that I am test running?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now let me make it bold and let me make it italic. Now to make this thing bold and italic, simply all you have to do is to go back to the text editor and add it from here. I need to add another tag for bold. Let me start with bold. Let me write bold. Bold simply means strong. And then I must close the tag again. Please, can you see the tags that I just inserted?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, let me close this. I've saved the file. Let me go back to my browser and see if it's going to be bold. Now, but before I refresh, let's take a look at it and see how it looks.
Okay.
So let me refresh it. Did you not see that it's more bolder?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, 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 yes.
Did you notice it's bolder now?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, so let me make it italic. Let me go back to the text editor. Let me make it italic. To make it italic also, all you just need to do is add another tag to it. All right, I. And close the tag as well.
Okay.
Only the different things you get.
So let me save
this
and go back to the browser. So I'm going to refresh. So did you not see that it has turned to italic?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's in.
Please, can you all see?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
All right, please, are we satisfied with this? Because I want to wrap up the training for today.
So
I don't know if anybody have any questions.
It's a good start. Since we are just starting, it's not bad at all.
Okay, but please, do you all understand the tag? We're talking about tags now. Next, on our next class, we are not going to be depending on tags again. We're going to be talking about how to organize the web page. We're going to talk about the attributes of the web page, where you have the name, the value. That's where you have to define everything you are doing. Every source, the width, how to arrange. Now, if you check this web page, it's scattered. Let me go back and show you. Did you notice that it's scattered, it's not arranged?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, because there are no attributes. We are not defining anything. Mr. Endurance has a question. Please, can I hear your question, sir?
Yeah, sure. What I want to ask is that can this document be made available to us to be reading also with the video, so that we can, like now, you can paraphrase and revise a class before the next class, and then prepare appropriately. That's what I wanted to say.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. We can only give out the
videos. Let me say, for example, for the tax now, I'm sure in the next class now, you know, before then, it would have been nice for us probably to just revise, read up again, you know, because since most of us or some of us are getting to hear this for the first time, it's not going to stick. We might just have to probably revise and all that, you know. So that's what I'm saying.
Okay, I think what I can do is I'm always available for questions and answers, even beside the training. So the videos are definitely going to be available. If you have any question, you can contact me. But I'll put that into consideration, sir. I'll put that into consideration. Maybe you see me, you chat me up privately, sir.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you very much. So please, is there any question again before we close for today? All right, since there are no question, I want to thank everyone for your time. I sincerely appreciate you all. This training is in 2 sessions. We have the morning section, we have the evening session. So I appreciate you all for your time. Let's meet same time on Friday. We're going to be meeting on Friday, same time, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. But it looks like we've extended our time. So please, for those of you that came late today, please try as much as you can to make it earlier on Friday, so you will not miss that. Not depending on watching videos. It's good that you ask questions to ensure that you are following up.
Okay.
All right, thank you very much for the time. I appreciate.
Thank you, sir.
You do have a nice day.